Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Mrs. Ola or to whoever is watching. Hello, we are from Group 4, and today we are going to do a presentation on leverage and stock valuation of healthcare sector in Indonesia. Before we start, please let us introduce ourselves. My name is Caroline.
My name is Andini Audrey Diana Putri.
My name is Ranti Maulida.
My name is Irfan Farijal Maulana.
So, first is PT Kalbe Pharma Tbk. Next, for DOL, DFL, and DCL for analysis for PT Kalbe Pharma Tbk is DOL PT Kalbe Pharma in 2022 is 4.61 and in 2023 is 6.20. The increase in DOL in 2023 indicates that sensitivity of operating profit to change in sales is higher in PTKB Pharma. This result also shows that sales are not stable, so that small change in sales will have a big impact on operating of profit. And for DFL in 2022 is 1.01 and in 2023 is 1.02. The DFL number in 2022 and 2023 is 1, indicating that PT Kalbe Pharma continued to keep its debt low so that its financial risk remains low. And for DCL in 2022 is for 4.67 and in 2023 is 6.36. The DCL of PT Kalbe Pharma, which increased in 2023, show that the sensitivity of earning per share to change in sales has increased too. Next. So this is a forecasting for percent change in sales, operating income, and earning per share using basic formula and using leverage formula for PT Kalbe Pharma. Next. So in sales in PT Kalbe Pharma increased by 5% from 28 trillion to 30 trillion in 2023. And in the first 9 months of 2023, sales rose 6.5% billion compared to the same period in 2022. For earning per share change using leverage formula is increased 24% and using ordinary difference formula is decreased by 70%. Actual APS decreased by 70% driven by an 18% decline in net incomes. And for operating income, operating income change calculated via leverage formula decreased 24% and via ordinary difference formula is decreased 19%. Actual EBIT is decreased by 19% from 2022 to 2023. Gross profit margin also dropped to 37% in quarter 3 2023, the lowest in company history, and margin decline caused by a 20% drop in lower margin. Next. And for stock valuation for PT Kalbe Pharma, using the PA method to calculate the valuation of PT Kalbe Pharma, PT Kalbe Pharma financial statement provide company APS data and stock profit data is also available in the capital market. Thus, all data needed to calculate stock valuation using PA method is available. And this calculation with the market price in 2023 is 2 rupiah and in 2023 is 100 rupiah. And the result is stock valuation for 2022 for PT Kalbe Pharma is 28.74 and in 2023 is 26.91. The result of the stock valuation calculation using the PM method show that in 2022 investor pay about 28.74 of earning per share to buy one Kalbe Pharma share. And in 2023, the valuation dropped to 26 times. The decline in the PE method is due to declining stock price and declining APS. Next. And for management evaluation for DOL is indicate operating profit is more sensitive to sales fluctuation, and management must carefully manage sales and operating expenses. And for DFL, slight increase showing low financial risk and careful debt management. For PT Kalbe Pharma, for DCL, APS is increasingly vulnerable to sales change. And for sales in PT Kalbe Pharma, first 9 months in 2023, sales increased. And for EBIT drop due to a product mix shift, lower margin consumer health sales fell significantly, and higher margin pharmaceutical sales increased. Management should improve operational efficiency and optimize product mix. And for EPS is fell 17% and decline linked to challenges post-pandemic market conditions, and management should focus needed on profitability improvement to restore EPS. And for PA ratio drop due to lower stock price, and EPS reflects market company performance, and management should enhance profitability and provide transparent forecast to regain investor confidence. Next. Udah.
So I will present the PT Industri Jamu dan Farmasi Sido Muncul Tbk. Next. DOL of 2022 is 1.512. DOL 2023 is 1.7238. In 2023, the DOL of PT Sido Muncul increased compared to the previous year to 1.72%, which means that the sensitivity of operating profit to changes in sales increased. If sales increase by 1%, EBIT will increase by 1.72%. This means that the company's operating profit becomes more sensitive to changes in sales. This increase could be due to an increase in fixed operating costs, a decrease in variable costs, or a combination of both. The company's operating risk increases slightly in 2023 compared to 2022. DFL. DFL 2022 is 1.00 and DFL 2023 is 1.00. In 2022 and 2023, PT Sido Muncul has the same DFL value of 1.0005%. DFL is very close to 1, indicating minimal financial leverage. Although there is a slight increase from 2022, the change is not significant. The company continues to rely on very little debt financing, which signifies that PT Sido Muncul uses almost no interest-bearing debt in its capital structure. PT Sido is very conservative in its use of debt, so financial risk remains very small. DCL 2022 is 1.52. DCL 2023 is 1.72. In 2022, PT Sido Muncul's DCL was 1.52%, which means that every 1% increase in sales will increase EPS by 1.52%. In 2023, PT Sido Muncul DCLs increased to 1.72%, which means that EPS becomes more sensitive to changes in sales, but is still dominated by operational factors, not finance. Next. So this is the result of forecasting the percentage change in sales, EBIT, and EPS. Next. Interpretation of percentage changes in sales. Sales decreased by 7.75% from 3.87 trillion rupiah in 2022 to 3.57 trillion rupiah in 2020. Significant year-over-year declines in key segments. First, herbal medicine sales down 32%. 2. Food and beverage. 2. Food and beverage segment down 24%. 3. Pharmaceutical sales down 16%. Decline attributed to prolonged dry season and hot weather, reducing demand for flagship product tolak angin, which is typically consumed more during rainy season. Finance Director Leonard confirmed that these factors negatively impact overall product sales. Change in EBIT. EBIT decreased by 14.51% from 2022 to 2023, a decline of 202.19 billion rupiah. Leverage formula shows EBIT change at minus 11.78%, while ordinary formula confirms minus 14.51%. Decline caused by lower revenue and net profit, alongside a 14 year-over-year increase in operating expenses in quarter 3 of 2023. EBIT margin dropped from 34.2% to 28.1%, further down to 24.4% in quarter 3 of 2023. Rising operating costs and declining sales pressured profitability. Change in EPS. EPS change forecast using the leverage formula was minus 11.78%, while the actual EPS change was minus 13.93%. EPS decreased from 36.82 in 2022 to 31.69 in 2023. The decline was driven by lower net profit, high inflation, and the weakening of the Indonesian rupiah against the US dollar, negatively impacting company performance. EPS reflects the company's profitability calculated as net income after preferred dividends divided by the number of outstanding shares. Next. Stock valuation. Calculation was chosen because the PE ratio has great significance for a business like PT Sido Muncul that has been operating for a long time, has consistent net income and regularly pays dividends. PE released the value of a stock to earnings per share, thus providing a view as to whether the same is valued high or low by the market based on its financial result. PE ratio of 2022 is 12.50% and PE ratio for 2023 is 16.56%. PE ratio of PT Sido Muncul decreased in 2023 was 12.50% and decreased in 2023 to 16.56%. A decrease in the PE ratio can be caused by investors who are less optimistic about the company's future growth. A decrease can indicate that the company's profit growth expectations have decreased. In addition, a decrease in the PE ratio can be caused by a decrease in stock price, a decrease in earnings per share, or a combination of both. Next. Management evaluation. First, the OL. This indicates that the company's operating risk increased slightly in 2023, possibly due to an increase in fixed operating costs or a decrease in variable costs. Second, the FL. This indicates minimal financial leverage and the company is very conservative in its use of debt. PT Sido Muncul's financial risk remains very small and as it uses almost no interest-bearing debt in its capital structure. Third, DCL. DCL in 2022 is 1.52% and rises to 1.72% in 2023, indicating EPS is becoming more sensitive to changes in sales, but remains dominated by operational, not financial factor. Sales decreased by 7.75% from 3.87 trillion rupiah in 2022 to 3.57 trillion rupiah in 2023. Sales drop influenced by prolonged dry season and hot weather, reducing demand for key products like tolak angin. EBIT fell by 14.51% 0.51% due to lower revenue and 14% increase in operating expenses in quarter 3 of 2023. EBIT margin declined significantly, reflecting pressure on profitability. EPS decreased by 13.93% from 36.82 in 2022 to 31.69 in 2023. The decline in EPS was affected by lower net profit, high inflation, and the weakening of the rupiah against the US dollar. Lastly, PT Sido Muncul's PE ratio fell from 12.5% in 2022 to 16.5% in 2023. This decline indicates that the market's expectation of the company's earnings growth is declining, either due to a decline in share price, a decline in earnings per share, or a combination of both. Next.
Next up, we have Kimia Pharma. Next. Here shown are the DOL, DFL, and DCL analysis for Kimia Pharma. Firstly, we have DOL in 2022. Kimia Pharma has a DOL value of 15.19, and it came down to a minus 5.37 in 2023. The negative DOL happens because of a negative operating income, indicating that the increase in sales actually decreases the operating income. This matter is reflected in sales that have increased by 7.39% from 9.2 billion rupiah in 2022 to 9.9 billion in 2023, while the EBIT value decreased drastically from 497 million rupiah in 2022 to minus 1.5 billion in 2023. Next up, there's DFL. In 2022, Kimia Pharma's DFL is at minus 17.4, and then it increased slightly to a 0.716. In 2022, the company has a DFL of minus 17.4 due to the value of operating income being smaller than the interest expense that must be paid by the company. By 2023, this number increased to 0.716, nearly reaching the value of 1. Overall, the financial risk of Kimia Pharma has decreased slightly compared to 2022, but the company is still in a loss-making condition and unable to pay interest from operating income. Lastly, we have DCL. Kimia Pharma's DCL in 2022 is minus 264.3, and then in 2023, it is minus 3.85. In 2022, the DCL number reached minus 264.3, signaling a very high sensitivity of net profit to sales. This condition reflects a very high fixed cost structure and interest expense, so the company is very vulnerable to a decline in sales. A decrease in DCL of 260.45 from minus 264.3 to minus 3.85 in 2023 suggests a significant improvement in the cost structure or interest expense. The company is not yet fully healthy, but the extreme risk has decreased dramatically. Next. Here shown are the forecasting. We use the leverage formula as a premise for forecasting, while the usual difference formula here is used to determine the changes in the percentage change in sales, EBIT, and EPS values that actually occur. And as we can see, there are a lot of differences between the two. The percentage change in sales was used as a base to calculate the changes in EBIT and EPS. Using the leverage formula, that is why it yields the same result. For the percentage in EBIT, it was predicted to increase by 120.45%, but it actually decreased by 415.91%. Lastly, the percentage change in EPS was predicted to drop by a drastic 2,095.83%, and in reality, it only dropped by a minus 679.88%. Next. The interpretation for the results are as followed. The percentage change in sales shows an increase of 7.39% in 2023, despite the difficulties in the pharmaceutical market. The president director of Kimia Pharma credited this growth to continuous internal improvements through operational excellence and business reorientation. Furthermore, contrary to the expectation of a 120.45% increase, EBIT actually dropped drastically by 415.91% in 2023. This shows that although sales increased, operating expenses and/or other costs increased much more. Kimia Pharma's finance director credited the loss due to operational issues, where only less than 40% of the company's factory capacity was used. In addition, the cost of goods sold, or COGS, increased by 25.83% in 2023, which is higher than the increase in sales stated prior, which was 7.39%. This loss can also be attributed to an increase in operating expenses from 3.4 billion rupiah in 2022 to a whopping 4.6 billion rupiah in 2023. Lastly, there is the percentage change in EPS. The forecasted EPS percentage change based on the leverage formula was a whopping minus 2,095.83%, whereas the actual EPS percentage change turned out to be minus 679.88%. The negative value on both was caused by a combination of operational inefficiencies, low margin product composition, increase in cost of goods sold, financial expenses increased, and also alleged breach of financial statement data integrity. Next. Next up, we have the stock valuation. KAEF, which is Kimia Pharma's stock code, has a negative PER, or price to earning ratio, value in 2022 and 2023, which is minus 33.93 and minus 4.31 respectively, with a negative EPS, or earning per shares, which was minus 34.25 in 2022 and decreased by minus 679.88% to is 267 from 1,162 rupiah to 1,152 rupiah. According to the principle of finance, market price reflects information. The declining share price, as well as the negative PER of KAEF, can be attributed to the alleged violation of integrity of the provision in financial statement data that occurred at its subsidiary, namely KFA, in the 2021 to 2022 period. In addition to conducting an investigative audit to look into the claims, KAEF management is currently improving its operation by reorienting its business in all subsidiaries. Next. Lastly, there are some management evaluation that can be applied to Kimia Pharma. Given these findings, management should prioritize operational efficiency by making optimal use of factory operations to reduce fixed costs and improve utilization rates. Improving supply chain management and shifting the product portfolio towards higher margin items are also essential. Additionally, rigorous cost control, especially in subsidiaries, should be enforced to prevent further escalation of operating expenses. Strengthening internal controls and transparency, particularly in financing reporting, is vital to restore investors' confidence, especially in light of recent integrity issues at the subsidiary level. By implementing these strategic changes, Kimia Pharma can position itself for a return to profitability and sustainable growth in the future.
PT Tempo Scan Pacific. DOL Default Indices Analysis. DOL in 2022 signaling the enormous impact of approaching levers on operating profit management must be careful of sell fluctuation in 2023. There is decline indicating cost efficient or increased production capacity. So operational risk become more manageable than the previous year. DFL. DFL in 2022 amount to 1.0085 and slightly increased to 1.0088 in 2022. This value saw that 100% increase in EBIT only increased EBIT by around 1.0085% to 1.0088%. Interest expense is relatively small compared to EBIT. So the company financial risk remains low, and the debt financing the strategy is still relatively safe. DCL in 2022 is very high at 11.48%, which means the every 1% increase in sale increase EBIT by 11.48%. This saw a very high sensitivity of net profit to change in sale so sale control must be very strict. In 2023, DCL decreased to 8.48, indicating that business risk still high but more manageable than the previous year. This decrease reflects a more stable combination of operating and financial leverage. For forecasting, we use usual difference formula and reverse formula. Interpretation cells, the ordinary difference calculation show an increase in sale of 7.06% from 2022 to 2023 based on the formula leverage approach. DCL, the estimate sales growth was recorded at 8.09%. The sales growth indicate the company remains capable of increasing revenue despite the market challenge. EBIT calculating in change EBIT using ordinary difference formula. So an increase 48.90%. The level approach with degree of operating leverage, DOL, saw a sensitivity of EBIT to change in sale of 10.07. The decline in EBIT was due to shift in product mix. Sale of low margin consumer health product fell sharply, while higher margin pharmaceutical product expire growth. This shift in product structure lead to a decline in gross profit margin to 37%, the lowest level in the company history. And in EPS, the company EPS decreased by 70.56% from Indonesian dollar to 2061 to Indonesian dollar 22 based on the ordinary difference calculation. The degree of the DVL analysis record change in EPS of 90.50% indicate EPS more sensitive to change in EBIT due the company is fixed financing structure. This decline in EPS reflect the direct impact of challenging marketing conditions, including operation expense, the remain high and declining life margin, termasuk stock valuation. The use PE method to calculation stock valuation PT Tempo Scan Pacific TBK is more appreciated because the company profit is relatively stable. The financial report of PT Tempo Scan provide the company EPS data and the stock price data is also available in the capital market. Data is also available in the capital market. So all the data need to calculate stock valuation. using the PE method available. Using the PE method is available. Management evaluation. DOL, the decrease in DOL indicate the sensitivity of operating profit, EBIT, to change in sales in lower than in the previous year. In other words, small change in sales in 2023 have less impact on change in operating profit than in 2022. If the FL management should consider using debt wisely since the FL is still very low. Management can consider increasing debt within safe limit to fund expansion or investment so that potential profit can increase. ECL should maintain operational efficiency since a decrease in ECL indicate lower risk. Managers should remain focused on improving operational cost efficiency so that profit margin remain healthy. Operational cost efficiency so that profit margin remain healthy. So the improvement demonstrate that the company was able to drive performance amidst challenging market conditions going forward. The strategy to expand distribution, strengthening marketing network, and focusing on superior product can sustainably strengthen this growth in a sustainable manner. EBIT, FDHE, company EBIT record a decline of 90.12%. Management needs to review its product mix, improve cost efficiency, and manage production and distribution process more optimally to maintain healthy operating performance. EPS decreased by 70.7. The company needs to design the strategy to increase profitability both through internal efficiency and sales growth. In potential segment efficiency and sales growth potential segment, this increase reflect imbalance between the decline in EPS and the share price, which did not fall as much, indicating that the market still has positive expectation of the company long-term prospect. Despite the declining earning performance, the share price remained relatively stable as investors believe in the potential recovery of PT Tempo Scan performance in the future. Health sector. Indonesia health sector in period 2022-2023 is in significant addition past. Its performance cannot be uniformly as okay or not okay. Rather, is a sector that is struggling with internal and external challenge. KEF is in a critical state that require a complete overhaul, not only is in operating but also governance the does. SIDA is facing pressure from external factor and rising operating costs, which demand a stronger product diversification and cost management strategy. KLBF saw solid sales growth but had to performance margin erosion caused by product mix and operational efficiency. TSBC saw positive since in operational risk management, although it was still under the past.
Overall, the sector demonstrates that revenue growth alone is not enough. Profitability, operational efficiency, and tight cost management are key to sustainability. Companies in the sector needs to focus on optimizing product mix, improving supply chain and production, the efficiency and tight cost control to navigate this challenging market environment and return to a profitable growth path. The ability to adapt to changing market demands and manage cost pressure will be key determinants for future success. Next. Thank you so much for watching and goodbye.